Ubisoft does it again. Rainbow Six Siege Extraction. You may recognize this video is going to be a little different from our previous ones. This one isn't going to be a regular review of Extraction. This is going to be a look at the bad, the ugly, and the Ubisoft of Rainbow Six Extraction. So strap in and let's get started.
Let's go.
Rainbow Six Extraction is a spin-off game of Rainbow Six Siege.
Siege! With Rainbow Six Siege being a strict PvP experience where 4 players face off against 4 other players.
Oh, that sounds like that's an awesome time.
That's because it is! There's nothing more thrilling than conquering over your enemies, like Ford conquering Ferrari in Le Mans in 1966.
It conquering so good, they even made a movie about it.
An awesome movie! Even I like it.
A movie that's so awesome that it pleased gearheads, car fans, racing fans, family movie fans, and featured the most dynamic racing scene since Seabiscuit. I bet you didn't think you're going to get a review of Ford versus Ferrari in a video for Rainbow Six Siege Extraction, but here we are.
Who knows what's going to happen next?
Which brings me to the bad of Rainbow Six Siege Extraction.
Round 1, fight!
Who's this game made for? It's hard enough to appease the most competitive gamers, but it's without the satisfaction of beating your human enemies into the ground, like the worthless used oil puddles that they are.
Which puts this game in the awkward position of feeling like it's a training game to segue you into the actual game it's built on. Siege, without the extraction. You there, watching, you still following?
Yeah, you're talking about Siege being the good game that the not-so-good game Extraction is based off of.
Exactly.
Siege is the engine Extraction runs off of. Siege is the Mack truck and Extraction is the giant-ass trailer that hooked up to it instead of making its own Mack truck. Which begs the question.
Who the hell was looking at Siege and said, you know what this game needs?
Extraterrestrials.
Yeah, that's what a Rainbow Six game needs.
Extraterrestrials.
You said that already.
Man, this guy just keeps on saying,
Extraterrestrials.
Okay.
It's baffling. The whole thing.
And now, for the ugly of Rainbow Six Siege, Extraction.
Round 2, fight!
And what is the ugly of Siege Extraction?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Mrs. Salesman.
Let me tell you, the ugly of the game is the progression system. And I don't mean the character progression system, I mean the actual advancing from level to level advancement system. You see, the game starts in
New York. And then you go to San Francisco, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And you would think that actually beating the New York levels would progress you to the San Francisco levels. But that's a big fat nope.
Huh?
You see, there was a time in gaming when if you wanted to get to the next level, you had to beat the level you were actually on. This practice dates all the way back to the 70s, in games like Space Invaders.
Space Invaders was a game where you play the same level over and over again, but each time you beat the level, you would replay it on a harder difficulty. This would repeat until you lost all your lives. Then you would challenge your friends to beat your high score because you knew their worthless, non-game playing ass couldn't do it.
Little did I know that New Game Plus dated all the way back to 1978. Today I learned. Now imagine if you were playing Space Invaders, but to get to the next level, you didn't have to kill enemies or beat the level, but instead had to do inane objectives like scan large invaders, hit medium invaders in its weak point, dodge UFOs, and once you filled that criteria, you moved on to the next level.
What the hell kind of hippy dippy shit is that?
That's exactly how you progress levels in Rainbow Six Siege Extraction. You unlock San Francisco by doing objectives in New York that have nothing to do with actually beating the levels in New York. So you can progress through the game without actually beating any of the levels in the game.
Why the hell would they do that?
Probably because this game is hard as
Oh.
Oh man, we're never gonna win.
So instead of retuning the game, they Ubisoft it.
Round 3, fight!
So what does it mean to Ubisoft a game? Well, if you played any Ubisoft game recently, you'll know that they have a certain reputation for being unnecessarily long. Not because the game themselves are long, but because they'll fill them with you doing the same thing over and 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 over and
It's baffling. The whole thing.
over.
If you want to complete this game, prepare to play the same levels over and over again, not because you're trying to get better to beat them, but because you need to do certain tasks in the levels unrelated to actually completing them to unlock the next level.
Baffling. The whole thing.
Ubisoft, I just want to let you know that grinding does not equal fun. No. Let's take a look at another Tom Clancy game, The Division 2. That's another Tom Clancy game that was Ubisoft, a game that I have played for dozens of hours. That is PvE and PvP. The difference here is that The Division 2 is filled with sequences like this.
Where are you, Mr. President? The used car salesmen are here.
Mr. President. We've already got a bird in the air.
Talk about fun.
Talk about awesome.
Now that's a game that balances a grind with a fun time.
At least there, you not only need to grind, but you need to beat levels, enemies, and objectives to progress your game.
Beating levels to actually progress your game? What a concept.
Which brings us to the final point.
Our PowerPoint, if you will.
Round 4, fight!
A game that used the prior game's engine, characters, and mechanics to sell itself on. Why in the world is this a $40 game and not a $20 add-on in a game that this game was built off of?
So, in closing, we're not going to put a number on this game. All we can do is talk to our own experience. So, that's it for us on this one, guys. Everyone, you stay awesome, and we'll see you guys later.
We'll see you next time. I tried to spin, but it wasn't dramatic enough for me.